The desert had its own kind of silence, a stillness that could make a man feel like the last soul alive on earth. Cole Wyatt had grown used to it. His days were filled with the sound of leather creaking in the saddle, cattle lowing in the distance, and the steady scrape of fence posts being set. His nights were lonelier, just the wind rattling the shutters and the low groan of the old windmill turning. Once, he had someone to come home to, but that was before the fire in '77, before the night a stray bullet meant for another man took the woman he loved. After that, Cole decided it was easier to live without hope. Hope was a cruel thing. It made you believe life could be gentle, only to turn and cut you deep. That was before the day he saw her. It was late afternoon, the kind of golden light that made the land look almost forgiving. Cole was riding along the creek, reins loose in one hand, scanning the fence line for breaks. Bandit, his black gelding, moved steady under him. Then he noticed movement by the water. A young woman knelt at the creek's edge, scooping water into her cupped hands. Her dress was travel-worn, hem-ragged, and her dark hair tumbled loose, catching the fading sun. She kept glancing over her shoulder, like a deer ready to bolt. Cole pulled up, his voice even. "You lost." Her head snapped up. Her eyes were amber-brown, guarded but pleading. "No, just resting." It was a lie. He'd heard too many not to know. "This land ain't safe for strangers," he said, swinging down from his saddle. "You got a place to go?" Her lips parted, then closed again. "Not anymore." Something in her tone, quiet defeat, cut through him. He offered his hand. "Name's Cole." She hesitated, then placed her hand in his, her grip cool and light. "Maria." The ride back to the ranch was quiet. The sun dipped lower, painting the horizon in violet and gold. Cole didn't press her for answers, though every instinct told him she was running from something. When they reached the ranch house, a simple two-room place of weathered wood, he stabled Bandit, then led her inside. The air smelled faintly of wood smoke. A fire burned low on the hearth, shadows flickering along the walls. He poured her water, set out bread and jerky. She thanked him softly, the words sounding strange in her mouth, as if kindness was something she rarely tasted. Days passed, and Maria settled into a quiet rhythm. She swept the porch, mended shirts, fed the chickens without being asked. She kept her gaze low when strangers rode past on the road. Every gunshot in the distance made her flinch. Cole noticed, but he didn't ask. It wasn't until the fourth evening, when the sky bled into shades of fire, that she spoke. Cole found her standing by the corral, hair lifting in the breeze. "You planning to keep running?" he asked quietly. She didn't turn. "Depends if they find me." "Who's they?" She hesitated, then said, "My brother, Javier Torres." The name hit like a hammer. The Torres gang had left scars across this land. Barns burned, cattle stolen, men killed. Cole's own herd had been scattered last spring because of them. "You're his sister," he said slowly. She turned, eyes wide, searching for judgment. "Yes, but I'm not like him. I never chose this life." That night, Cole sat by the window long after she'd gone to bed. The wind carried the scent of rain. The shutters rattled softly. He thought of the bullet that had taken Clara, thought of the night the Torres gang ran his cattle off into the hills. Every part of him said to send Maria away. But when he closed his eyes, he saw her standing in the firelight, shoulders drawn tight but chin lifted in quiet defiance. Slowly, the edges between them began to wear down. She laughed, soft, startled, when he burned biscuits one morning. He caught her humming while hanging laundry, the sound drifting across the yard in the warm sun. One afternoon, a sudden storm rolled in. Rain hammered the roof as they stood on the porch, leaning against the railing. "You're not what I expected," she murmured, eyes on the silver curtain of rain. He glanced at her. "What did you expect?" "A cold man, the kind who live alone and likes it that way." "I did," he said, "till you showed up." She didn't answer, but the way her breath caught told him she'd heard more in those words than he meant to give. A week later, trouble found them. 2 riders appeared on the horizon, dust trailing behind them. Cole recognized them as bounty hunters. "Inside," he told Maria. They'll search the place, she whispered. Let him try. The men accused her of aiding her brother, called her dangerous, said she had a price on her head. Cole stood in the doorway, one hand resting near his revolver. She's not here, he lied. And if she was, you wouldn't be taking her anywhere. They didn't push it, but he knew they'd be back. That night, she stood by the fire, her voice low. You risked everything for me. I told the truth. No, she whispered. You chose me over what's safe. He stepped closer, the firelight catching the lines of his face. You deserve someone to stand for you. Her fingers brushed his. Neither moved away. The silence between them was warmer than any words. Weeks passed. The danger outside never vanished, but here they built something like peace. Shared breakfast, rides at sunset, quiet talks by the fire. Then one afternoon, she came to him, eyes wet but steady. I can't keep running forever. If I stay, they'll come after you. Let him try, he said simply. Her lips trembled. You're the last man I should have fallen for. He smiled, slow and certain. And you're the only woman I ever wanted to. The desert wind carried the scent of rain, and somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled. Maria stepped forward, resting her forehead against his chest. His arms came around her, sure and steady. And in that quiet moment, Cole knew, whatever storms came, they'd face them together. The desert had been quiet for nearly a month. Too quiet. Since the day Cole Wyatt had turned away 2 bounty hunters from his porch, Maria Torres had lived in a fragile peace at the Wyatt Ranch. They spent mornings working side by side, she in the kitchen or hanging laundry, he out mending fences or breaking a wild horse. Evenings were theirs, sharing supper, talking the warm glow of the fire, or riding out just to watch the sun dip into the horizon. But Cole knew this couldn't last forever. A man like Javier Torres didn't stop running, and lawmen didn't stop chasing him. It began with hoofbeats in the night. Cole was awake instantly, hand on the revolver by his bed. The sound was faint at first, then sharper. 2 horses, maybe 3, approaching fast. He crossed the room, peered through the window. Lantern light flickered along the road. Maria stirred, pulling the blanket tighter. Cole, stay inside, he said, voice low but firm. By the time the riders reached the gate, Cole was already on the porch. They weren't bounty hunters. These men were rougher, their coats dusty, faces shadowed under the brim of their hats. One of them called out, We're looking for Maria Torres. We know she's here. Cole didn't flinch. You've been told wrong. Word in town says she's hiding on your land. Her brother's got business with us, and we aim to settle it. Cole's hand hovered near his holster. You aim to leave my land now. For a moment, no one moved. Then the men turned their horses, muttering threats as they rode off into the dark. Inside, Maria stood by the fire, pale but steady. They weren't lawmen, she said. No, Cole replied. They were the kind who will shoot first if it gets them what they want. She swallowed hard. They're after Javier, not me. But if they find me, they'll go through me first, Cole said simply. Her eyes glistened, but she didn't argue. Days later, the trouble found them again, this time in town. Cole had ridden in for supplies, Maria at his side under the wide brim of a borrowed hat. They'd nearly finished when a man stepped out from between 2 buildings, blocking their path. Maria Torres, he said, spitting the name like a curse. Cole's body shifted subtly, placing himself between them. Step aside. But the man's grin widened. Your brother stole from me, left me near dead in the hills. You think I won't pay him back through you? Before Cole could answer, the man lunged. Cole caught him by the collar, slamming him against the wall. The whole street froze, eyes on the cowboy who never lost his cool. Walk away, Cole said, voice low enough to make it dangerous. The man hesitated, then did. That night, Maria sat by the fire, staring into the flames. You can't keep standing between me and the world, she whispered. Yes, I can. You'll get yourself killed. He met her gaze, steady and sure. Then it'll be my choice, same as it's yours to stay. She turned away, blinking back tears. And if I told you I wasn't going to stay? His jaw tightened, but he didn't answer. A week later, Maria was gone. She left before dawn, taking only a small satchel and one of the ranch's older horses. She left a note on the table, for words, written in a hand that wavered just slightly. "It's safer this way." Cole found it as the sun came up. He read it once, then twice, his fingers tightening around the paper. He didn't curse, didn't shout, just saddle banded and rode out. The desert stretched ahead, empty but for a faint trail of hoof prints. Cole followed without hesitation. He found her by the river, hours later. She was sitting on a rock, the horse grazing nearby, her face buried in her hands. "That's a poor way to say goodbye," he said. She looked up, startled. "Cole, you think leaving makes you safe? All it does is make you alone." Her voice broke. "If I stay, they'll kill you. And I can't lose someone else." He stepped closer, the wind carrying the scent of mesquite and river water. "You're not losing me. Not now, not ever." She searched his face, as if trying to see if it was a promise he could keep. His hand found hers, warm and certain. "Come home, Maria." After a long moment, she nodded, tears glistening in her lashes. They rode back as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in gold and crimson. Danger still lay ahead. Cole knew it, and so did she. But for now, they had each other. And in a land where nothing was certain, that was worth fighting for. P.